All right, Leafs fans, it's time to get out your calculators as we go into the new year. I'm here with Steve Simmons. We're here to talk about the Maple Leafs. Steve, how do the Leafs keep it all together in 2019?
Well, you know, it used to be you watched hockey, you say, I like that player, and I don't like that guy, and this guy's good, and that guy's not. It doesn't work that way anymore. You now have to say, okay, this is how much a player makes, this is how much they can pay, this is how much they can pay him, and everybody now sits around and punches their dollars into calculators. Now, people have looked at Austin Matthews and say, yeah, he's going to get this much money, and Mitch Marner's going to get that much money. Those are the obvious things. They have some other complicated ones. Jake Gardiner, the defenseman, one of their best defensemen, is up. He can make between probably around $7 million in the free agent market. The Leafs can't afford to pay him that. So they're going to have to make a decision, and Jake's going to have to make a decision. Do you sign for less than you can get in other places, or do you go somewhere else, or do they actually trade him? Kasperi Kapanen's a restricted free agent. Andreas Johnsson is a free agent. There's a lot of guys. Ron Hainsey is a free agent. There's a lot of guys on this team that they have to find a way to retain or move. And it becomes, I heard an agent say this about a month ago. And he said most teams win the cup and then have to tear up their roster. The Leafs may have to tear up their roster before they win a cup, which is pretty unique and pretty odd. But Kyle Dubas is a smart guy, and he's got good people working around him. They're gonna go to every extent to figure out who they can keep and who they can't keep. And the one, if there's an asterisk in all of this, and it's probably the part that must bug fans the most, is they have Patrick Marleau signed for one more year with a no-trade arrangement at $6.25 million. Guess who would fit nicely into that $6.25 million? Jake Gardiner. But you can't have both, and I suspect you can't trade Patrick Marleau. So that's one of those contracts that they're going to have to live with and deal with.
Which players are untouchable?
Oh, I think the big guys, you know, Marner and Matthews and Tavares, obviously, those are the guys. You know, Nylander just signed a big deal. They like him a little bit better than I do. And Morgan Riley and Freddie Anderson in goal. Those are the glue guys. After that, a lot of other pieces are more in play. Nazem Kadri is a keeper because of the size of his contract. Riley has a terrific contract. When you have a guy who's playing at a level beyond their deal in salary cap times, that is a huge bonus because but they're going to get expensive with Matthews, who's going to come in that $12 to $13 million range. And the way Mitch Marner's playing this year as one of the best offensive players in the NHL, he's now over $10 million a year. So I think they didn't expect to see these guys progress so much so quickly.
Can you just break down the math for us real quick?
Well, you look at 4 players, and 4 players are going to be in the $40 million range. And that's Matthews, Marner, Tavares, and Nylander. And now if the salary cap's $83 million, this is where you get your calculators out. You've got to sign 19 players or have 19 players on your roster that come in at about $43 million. So 4 guys are getting 40, 19 are getting almost the same thing. And now it's a question of who can you pay and who can't you pay. And that's where we go back to Jake Gardiner, who's one of their best defensemen on a team that's already weak on the back end. How do you keep him or release him or bring someone in to replace him at less dollars? How do you work that out? That's for the hockey minds to figure out.
Okay, so it sounds like Austin Matthews is going to have to buy all the steak dinners when the team's out on the road next year. Let us know what you think down below and subscribe to our YouTube channel.